Hello students, welcome to Introduction to Unix and OS class. So in this class, we'll start with Module 4. Module 4 deals with program development tools that aid the programmer in the management of C programs. It also deals with essential system administration. So system administration is usually done by the administrator. So the administrator is also known as the super user or the root user. The administrator job involves the management of the entire Unix system, such as adding or removing the users, performing backups, installing the software, auditing the security, troubleshooting, and so on. So the agenda of the class: handling multi-source C applications. So first we'll see how multiple C source files are managed properly, and a make utility, which is a tool to rebuild one or more files. So first, handling multi-source C applications. So as you know that often the small programs are saved in a single source file or a single C file, and the question is, how do you compile this single C source file? The simplest method of compilation to produce a runnable file called a.out would be cc powered by foo.c. So this is the command that will execute to run a single C file. So we'll use the C compiler cc, and followed by the argument is the C file foo.c say, and after executing this command, an runnable file called a.out is created. So then you will run that a.out file to test your C program. So but this needs to be modified when working with multi-source programs or multiple files. So this technique needs to be modified when working with multiple files. So then what is multi-source programs or multi-source C applications? A multi-file programs are those programs where code is distributed into multiple files communicating with each other. That means when writing large programs, we should divide the large program into modules. So these modules could be a separate files, okay, which in turn communicate with each other. So that is, in other words, a C program have source code in several files. Okay. So here is an example. So how the program is divided into files. A main function would be in one file, say main.c. The header file, all the .h files contains function prototype of a module. So the function prototype of module you can store it in the header files. The .c file contains the function definitions of a module. So all the function definitions of a module can be stored or contained in the other .c files. Okay. So this is how we can split the C program into several files. So before taking an application of multi-source C application, okay, so let us examine the three phases that the C program passes through before an executable file is created. So the compilation of a program usually consists of three major stages. So first stage is compiling, second stage assembling, the third stage is linking. So what is compiling? So compilation actually converts the C source code to assembly language code That means all the .c files are converted into .s files. In the second step, assembling, the assembled code is transferred into object code by the assembler. A file containing object code has the .o extension. That means the .s files are converted into .o files in this stage. And the third stage is linking. The object code of the program is finally linked by the linker or loader with other object files and libraries that contain code used by the functions. So this phase produces a single executable file, which by default is named a.out. That means in this stage, all the object files or .o files, okay, are linked by the linker or the loader, so named as LD, to create a single executable file, so which by default is named a.out. Okay. So we use the term compilation to signify all these three major stages. So the default action of the CC compiler or GNU's GCC is to combine the three phases. Then compiling the multi-file programs. So to illustrate, imagine a program in three files, a.c, b.c, and c.c. So the C program is split into three files, a.c, b.c, and c.c. And the following command could generate a.out. Okay. So just go to the prompt and type the command. Use the C compiler CC followed by type the names of the three files that are to be compiled, a.c, b.c, c.c, separated by space. Okay. So this command will create a.out, a single executable file. Okay. So while creating the single executable file a.out, it will follow the above three major stages: compiling, assembling, linking. Okay. And in the above example, each of the .c file is compiled, assembled, and then they're automatically linked together using a program called the loader named as LD, which creates a.out. That means this CC compiler calls an assembler to generate object files, that is .o files, and then the linker, a program called LD, creates the executable files from the object files. And we can also compile C files using CC with -c option. Okay. So what is this option says? So this produces the object files with the same name but ending in .o without creating a.out. Okay. So we can compile C files without creating a.out. Okay. Which will produce only object files or .o files with -c option. So here is an example: CC -c a.c, b.c, c.c. So it will create only the object files a.out, b.o, b.o, and c.o. So after this, object files are linked using the linker to create a.out. So we have not illustrated here the using of the linker here because the name is the syntax is somewhat awkward. So a mix of source and object files is also permitted. Okay. Example here, CC followed by source files a.c and followed by the object files b.o, c.o. Okay. You can mix the source and object files for compiling. Okay. So this command creates executable file called a.out. And you can also use the -o option to specify your own executable name. Okay, so by default, the name of the executable is a.out. So if you want to change the name of the executable, then you have to use -o option. So here is an example: CC -o. See, the name of the executable is foo. the file name foo, and followed by the files to be compiled a.c, b.o, c.o. So this command will create an executable named foo. So this command performs compilation, assembly, and linking, okay, and creates a single executable named foo. So what is the advantage of splitting a large program into multiple files? So the advantages are the models will normally divide into common group of functions that can be reused. So that means the models can be reused, and we can compile each module or each file separately and link into the compiled modules. Okay, so they are the advantages of splitting a large program into multiple files. So here is an example of a multi-source application. So large applications are generally spread across multiple files. As I said, a program is split into multiple files. So these files contain the source and object code of these functions used by the main program. So the program containing the main function, and they also include the header files containing the prototypes of the functions. So what are header files? So if we divide a large program into modules, then we will normally want to keep the variable definitions, the function prototypes, the function definitions with each module. Okay. So however, what if several modules want to share such definitions? Okay. So it is best to centralize the definition in one file and share this file among all the modules. Okay. And such a file is called the header file. And you can define our own header files and include in our program using the hash include directive. Okay. And header files usually only contain the definition of the variables, the function prototypes, and C preprocessor commands. So an example of a multi-source application. A multi-source application that computes the interest on a recurring deposit. So here is the application. Okay. And this application is divided into 3 files. Rec underscore deposit.c, the main program. This is the main program. Rec underscore deposit.c, the main program. Okay. And it invokes 3 functions. Okay. Arg underscore check, the quit, and the compute. Okay. So this main program accepts the 3 arguments, okay, representing the principal, interest, and term, and computes the maturity amount, okay, and display it on the screen. So in that, it invokes 3 functions. So first function arg underscore check. So see here, arg underscore check is called here in the main file. Okay. And what it does, it checks whether the correct number of arguments are passed. So the 3 arguments are principal, interest, and term. Okay. But it checks whether these 3 arguments are passed or not. So this function arg underscore check is defined in a C file called arg underscore check.c, which includes arg underscore check.h. The function prototype of this function is defined under arg underscore check.h. Okay. Then it invokes the quit function. So quit function is invoked here in the main program. So what it does, it prints a message and terminates the program. So whenever if any one of the argument is not positive, okay, so then this quit function will be invoked, okay, and it will display a message, okay, and terminates the program. And this quit function is defined in a C file called quit.c, and it also includes quit.h. Okay, and then the compute function. So this compute function computes the interest using the 3 arguments: principal, interest, and rate, and returns the maturity amount. And see that this function is not placed in a separate file. Okay, so this is directly defined under the main program. See here, the compute function is defined in the main program. Okay, so when you call this main program, okay, so it invokes arg underscore check to see whether the correct number of arguments are passed. Okay, then it invokes 3 times the scanf statement. It invokes the scanf 3 times to convert the arguments in strings into the floating point numbers. So actually, when you pass the principal, interest, and term from the command line, no, they are stored as strings in this array argv. Okay, so that you have to convert into float for proper computation. Okay, so then it checks if any one of the argument is not positive. So if any one of the argument is not positive, then it will invoke the quit function, which will print a message and terminates the program. Okay, then if the validation succeeds, that means if the proper number of arguments are passed and if all the arguments are positive, then it invokes the quit function. Okay, sorry, it invokes the compute function, which will compute the interest using all the 3 arguments: principal, interest, and term, and returns the maturity, which will be displayed by the main program. So here is the file arg underscore check.c, which contains the definition of arg underscore check, and the function prototype of this function is defined in a file, header file arg underscore check.h. See, this is the function prototype of arg underscore check function, and quit.c is a separate file which contains the definition of quit function. Okay, and the function prototype of this quit function is defined in the header quit.h. Okay, so the header files contain the prototype of the function. So these functions are used in the main program, that is arg underscore check, quit, and etc. So these header files need to be included in the main program. See here, hash include quit.h, hash include arg underscore check.h need to be included in the main program. Then how do you compile and link this multi-source C application? So the step is, first remove all the object files, okay, using the rm command, rm star.o. So star is a meta character, okay, which matches all files, okay, ending with o extension. All the object files have the .o extension. So then we'll create the object files. So why do we need to create object files? So obviously the function arg underscore check, okay, and the quit functions are general enough to be used by some other programs, okay, in future, we assume. Okay, so it makes sense to create their object files and preserve their object files. That means .o files. So first we'll create the object files with using -c option, cc -c, and the file names rec_deposit.c, arg_check.c, and quit.c. The 3 C files. Now we'll compile it. Okay. Using -c option, that will generate the 3 object files in the same name. Okay. So how do you verify that the object files have been created? Use ls command to list the .o files or object files. So ls star.o. So I'm listing the obj files, all obj files here. See here, arg_check.o, quit.o, rec_deposit. Okay. So the 3 object files have been created after executing this command. So here, no .o file for compute. Okay. So compute is not defined in a separate file. So no object files is created for compute. Okay. And then the next step is all these object files are to be linked to create a single executable file. Okay. So what is the command? Again, cc -o option to specify your own name for the executable. So I've given own name for the executable file as rec_deposit, and the files to be linked, object files to be linked are rec_deposit.o, arg_check.o, quit.o, and of course you have to link them using an -lm option, because there is a built-in function power used in the compute function. So that is available in a library called libm.a. Okay, so that has to be linked. So that is linked using this flag -lm. Then after executing this command, a single executable file named rec_deposit is created. Okay, and run the program a number of times in ways that test the user-defined functions. So just execute the run the executable file rec_deposit. When you run first time, no, without any arguments, here run the file without any argument, passing any arguments. Then which function will get executed? arg_check defined under arg_check.c will be get executed, which checks whether the current number of arguments are passed. If the current arguments are not passed, it will display a message saying 3 arguments required. Okay. Next time, second time, when you run the program rec_deposit, and will pass the principal, interest, and term as 0. Principal 100, interest as 5, and term as 0. So this time one of the argument is not positive. So 0 is not positive, isn't it? So then immediately what the main program will do, it will call the quit function. Okay. So quit function is stored under quit.c file, that will get called. It will print a message and terminates the program. So what is the message it will print? All arguments must be positive. Okay. And the third run of the program, rec_deposit followed by, will pass all the 3 arguments correctly. So principal is 100, interest 5, and the term is 2. Okay. So validation succeeds, and it will invoke the compute function. So compute function will compute the interest using the 3 arguments. Okay, and it will be displayed by the main program. Okay, so MHD amount is equal to this much. Then the next topic, make, keeping programs up to date. So what is make? A tool that automatically determines which source files of a program need to be recompiled and are linked. That means, consider a situation where a large number of people are working on a project. So when multiple people work on a program, the program may consist of source files, object files, and executable files. Okay. So when someone or when some people make changes to any of these files, okay, it is not always necessary to recompile everything. So that means you can recompile only those that have changed and the modules that depend upon them. So this is done by using a make utility. So make is a tool designed to allow the programmer to efficiently compile a complex large programs with many components easily. Okay, so make is a utility to rebuild one or more files. How it works? Make gets its knowledge of how to build your program from a file called the make file, okay, or this one capital M make file in the user's current directory. Okay, so this is available in the current working directory of the user, and you can edit it and save it. Okay, and that means the make utility looks for this make file. So what this make file consists of? A make file consists of rules that tell the make utility how to compile your program and in what order. So that means make utility looks up a file, make file that checks two things. So first thing is how a program or how a source file or object file has dependency on the other files. For example, if you consider our previous application now, rec underscore deposit depends on rec underscore deposit.o, quit.o, arg underscore check.o. Okay, and the second thing it looks for is the command to execute when a file on which the another file depends changes. Okay, so this could be to run cc command to regenerate the object files or .o files. So here is the make file format structure of the make file. So this is the role which consists of the following components: target followed by colon, dependency list, and this line is followed by command list. Note that this command list is preceded by a tab character. Okay, so not a space, it is a tab character. Okay, you have to press tab character and write the command list. Okay. What it specifies? The rule. So here the target is generally an executable file or an object file which depends on the files in the dependency list. So this target is an executable file or the object file which depends upon these files which are in the dependency list. Okay, so if any one of the files in the dependency list change, then target has to be rebuilt using the commands provided in the command list. Okay, so the command list is preceded by tab, as I said, and the dependencies are represented in the form of dependency tree. Okay, so it is an example of a dependency tree for our application. Just now we have come across. Okay, so ultimate executable file is rec underscore deposit. Okay, and it has three dependency. Okay, and that means it depends upon the three files. Which are those files? Quit.o, rec underscore deposit.o, arg underscore check.o. Okay, so if any one of these files is modified, so then you have to recompile or you have to create this executable file once again. Okay, rec underscore deposit. And similarly, quit.o depends upon two files, quit.c and quit.h. If any one of the file quit.c or quit.h is modified, then you have to recompile quit.c to create quit.o. Similarly, the other files. Okay, rec underscore deposit.o depends on three files, quit.h, rec underscore deposit.c, arg underscore check.h. So if any one of these file is modified, so you have to recompile rec underscore deposit.c file. Okay, so that will create rec underscore deposit dot o file, object file. Similarly, arg underscore check dot o depends on arg underscore check dot h and arg underscore check dot c. So if any one of the file is modified, so you have to rebuild or recompile arg underscore check dot c. Okay, so that will create arg underscore check dot o again. So here is a sample make file for our current example. Okay, so you can edit or you can display the contents of make file using cat command. Okay, so it consists of 4 rules: rule 1, rule 2, rule 3, rule 4 for how many files? For the 3 files. Okay, rec underscore deposit quit dot o, rec underscore deposit dot o, and argument underscore check dot o. So these are the target. Okay. So these are the executable or the object files, which depends on the other files. Okay. See, and this make utility is recursive. It works from bottom. Okay. So first we'll write the rule for this one, arg underscore check dot o. So this is the target, arg underscore check dot o target, and this is the dependency list. Arg underscore check dot o depends on arg underscore check dot c and arg underscore check dot h. Okay, so these 2 files. Okay, so this is the dependency list, and this is the command to be executed. So this could be, as I said, cc command cc -c to generate the object files. So you have to recompile which file? Arg underscore check dot c. Okay, so this is rule 4, and the next rule is rule 3, so which is the file that to be rebuilt, quit dot o. So that is the target, and it depends on 2 files, quit dot c and quit dot g, mentioned in the dependency list, and then the command list cc-c, you recompile quit dot c. Okay, to generate quit dot o, the target. And then next rule, rule 2. So rec underscore deposit dot o is the target. So it which depends upon the 3 files, quit dot h, rec underscore deposit dot c, and arg underscore check dot c. So write it in the dependency list line, and then command list cc. So you have to regenerate this rec underscore deposit dot o, isn't it? So use the option -c. The file to recompile is rec underscore deposit dot c. So this is rule 2, and then the last rule. So target is rec underscore deposit. Ultimate executable file is rec underscore deposit. So this is the target, and dependency list. So it depends upon quit dot o, rec underscore deposit dot o, arg underscore check dot o. Okay, so mention it. And when any one of these files is changed, you have to create this executable file again. Okay, rec underscore deposit. So what is the option? cc -o to specify the executable file name as rec underscore deposit. To specify your own executable file, specify -o option. Executable file name is rec underscore deposit, and followed by the files to be converted into executable file. So rec underscore deposit dot o, arg underscore check dot o, quit dot o. Of course, you have to compile it with -lm flag. So this will, as I said, the compute function uses the built-in power function POW function during computation. So that is available in the library libm.a. So that should be linked. Okay. So that is linked using -lm option or flag. So once you have written the rules in this make file now, then run the make utility as below. Okay. Now the make utility will run all the 4 commands. Okay, specified in the rules. So recursively, in recursive manner. Okay. So first, before calling the make utility, remove all the previously generated object files using rm command, rm star.o, then call the make utility. Okay. So make run all the 4 commands, and object files can considered up to date. So that's it in the today's class. So hope you have understood. Thanks for watching and listening.